Hello, I'm Grace LaConte with LaConte Consulting. I just wanted to hop on here and share some information that has been really useful to my clients and also to people who have found this image that I created a few years ago. The four responses to fear. All of us know about the fight flight response, but there are actually two other responses that happen whether or not we're aware of it. And we have the choice about how we can enter into a situation that's scary. As a business owner or a leader, you may be facing these fears in your business that keep you from growing it in a way that would be useful and growth that would be healthy. So it's really helpful to understand how you're entering into situations that could ultimately hold you back and what you can do instead. So I just want to explain this real quick. Here's my image that's been shared many times around the world. People continue to ask for permission to use this in publications and in demonstration or in presentations. I'm just really honored that so many people have found it useful. This was actually just my way of interpreting a concept that's been around for a really long time, the fight flight response. And of course, we also have a freeze response, which some people also refer to the Fawn, Fawn. So here on the corner here. So let me just explain real quick how this works. We have a choice to either engage in something that scares us or to disengage and kind of separate away from it. We also can be repelled by the fear itself, where like the fear, the object, the situation that makes us feel afraid is kind of repelling, like we don't want to be around it, or we are attracted to be in the situation that is causing us the fear. So there are these four different forces, and this graph basically shows the quadrants that come from those forces. So in the fight response, we're basically engaging in the situation where the fear is happening. Like we're scared of something, but we're trying to enter into the space where it's happening, and yet we're repelling the option to learn from it. So we're pushing against it and getting in a situation where we are attacking, but we're not necessarily open to learning from that experience. So what we do instead is we might insult or blame other people or even mistreat ourselves in the process of trying to get this problem that we're afraid of to go away. So that's a fight response. Then we have the flight. We're fleeing, escaping. So this is where we are disengaging from the actual situation, but we're still repelled. We don't want to really learn from it. We're kind of avoiding the situation. So we might hide. We might deny our own feelings about it. And we basically, what happens is we omit information that might be useful to overcoming the situation that caused the fear in the first place. We might omit information that's helpful, and we sabotage ourselves because it's like an ostrich that puts its head in the sand. We are just ignoring information that would be really helpful to overcome that problem. Okay, so then on the other side here, let's move on to freeze. So this is another really negative outcome from a fear response. Freezing means that we're basically shutting down our emotions. We're in the situation, so we are basically we're being attracted to the situation itself. We're not repelling it, but you're basically in the midst of the chaos and the drama and the frustration, but you aren't able to resolve it. So you're not really learning from it. You're disengaged from an outcome that would be more helpful, but we're also being pulled into it. So this is the most dangerous quadrant, the most dangerous response to fear, because you're in the midst of that whirlwind, but you're not learning from it, and you're also not protecting yourself from it. And this can ultimately lead to trauma. It can lead to long-term consequences where you have a fight or flight response that goes crazy because you're not fighting it. You're also not escaping it. You're staying in the middle of it. And it also can turn into what some people call fawn, Fawn, which is where you might appreciate the situation that you're in that's dangerous. So it could turn into Stockholm syndrome, which is a situation where someone who is a captive or is being abused will actually emotionally connect with the abuser and maybe even appreciate what that person is doing, even if it's harmful to them. They may defend that person. They may choose not to leave, even if they have the option to later. So it's really a trauma response. And even in business, this freeze response can be really, really damaging because it can keep you in a situation that's really dangerous. So we might comply and kind of give into what we know is not a good thing to do. We might shut down emotionally, and we might justify, oh, it's going to be fine. This isn't really a problem. We're not really running away from it. We're staying in the situation, but we're rationalizing, oh, this is totally, totally normal to be treated this way or to have these terrible things happen. The most useful response to fear takes guts, it takes courage, and that is to step into a situation that could be dangerous with the mental strength and fortitude to know that you can get through the problem and learn from it, adapt, and therefore overcome that problem because you're certain that you have the means to get the tools, like this tool right here. You have the tools, you have the knowledge, you have the support system. You know that you can overcome this issue that's causing you to have fear. So the action that you have is you're defending. And I really like the idea here as a business owner. You can kind of you can see yourself as providing help to your customers by looking at their journey, their story brand. I really like that concept where your customers on a journey to they're going through some challenge and some problem, and you can provide them with the tools or the support or the help to get through that journey. So you can do the same thing for your business. There are problems and challenges that you're facing as a business owner or as a leader, and you can be the hero in that situation by looking for the tools and the way to get through that path without fighting against the very thing that you need to learn from or escaping it or getting stuck in a situation where you don't really know what to do. So facing fear is extremely difficult, but it's so rewarding because you can connect then to your own emotions about what is causing you to escape that or run away, fight, escape, or freeze. You can connect instead to what would be most useful in overcoming it and also in understanding your own response. Why do I feel this way? What is going on? Why do I continue to run away from this sales experience that, I have the opportunity to pitch to someone, to a client who would really help our business out, but I'm so scared to approach them. Or, there's this great deal where we could partner with another business, but I'm so nervous about that. So I'm either fighting the thought or I'm running away from it, or I just freeze and I don't do anything. So the outcomes of facing fear are that you get to preserve what's important to you and you mitigate, which means that you you can assess the risk and overcome that and then have an outcome that's better than when you started. So I have a pretty positive person, even though sometimes I look at the worst, but being a risk manager in my past life, I like to think of what can be the best possible outcome. And in order to do that, it's good to look at what is going wrong. So facing fear also is, it requires you to take a look at what's wrong and really be honest with yourself about what is not working, and then decide that you're going to step into that really uncomfortable situation and be totally honest with yourself about what could be done to fix it. And once you do that, you can overcome that fear and then continue to step into situations that you were not able to before. And the decisions that you're able to make once you understand your own response to this can be so incredibly powerful. I hope this helps. If you want more information about this, check out my website, LaConteconsulting.com.